You're now listening to Sound Talent Media. Check out more shows at soundtalentmedia.com.
Hey, what's up, everyone? I'm Matt Migaki, the vocalist of Cryptopsy and the host of the Vox and Hops Metal Podcast, where I sit down with fellow metal musicians. We talk all about their lives and music while sharing killer craft beers. If you've ever wanted to sneak backstage and share a beer with one of your favorite musicians, well, Vox and Hops is the podcast for you. This week on the podcast, I dropped a killer episode with Johannes Ekström of Avatar. There is this episode and over 440 other ones to help you enjoy life, metal, and craft beer. So what are you waiting for? It's time to become a Vox and Hops head. Cheers!
Hey there, folks. How's it going? I hope the answer is awesome, because it's going awesome over here at the moment. And I want to tell you about Sinusoid. I know you've been listening to this show for a while, probably, and you've heard about Sinusoid quite a bit at this point. And if you haven't checked them out yet, what are you doing? Why? Why would you not have checked out Sinusoid yet? They support the show, they make fantastic cables, and they're fantastic human beings. I am particularly fond of the sliver patch cable because it lets you get more pedals on your board, and it's soldered. It's so tiny and so awesome, and I don't know how much more I can say about a patch cable, but it's the coolest patch cable on the market, in my opinion. So make sure you go to sinusoid.com, check them out. They have all their cables backed by a 100-year warranty, so unless you are like a creature from Greek mythology, these are gonna last your entire life, and they'll bring smiles every time you plug it in. So go to sinusoid.com and check them out today. I also want to tell you about something else that's awesome, and that something else would be Gun Street Wiring Shop out of Bend, Oregon. If you haven't yet, I would suggest going and checking out the episode that Sean did, which was episode 84. So episode tonemob.com/podcasts, episode 84. If you go there and listen to that, I think you'll really get a kick out of it. Sean is a really good dude, and he's making great stuff, and his story is really, really interesting. So make sure you go check out that episode, and then when you get done with that, slide over to Gun Street Wiring Shop and upgrade your wiring harness in your guitar today. Because there's no time like the present. You might as well get that sweet, sweet tone and that sweet, sweet function that you've always been craving, and you'll get top-notch customer support. And as I've said multiple times, Sean's a great guy, and his products are fantastic. So go to gunstreetwiringshop.com. One last thing real quick before we get into this. There's a new way you can help support the show, and it's by doing what you're probably doing already, which is shopping on reverb.com. So if you go to tonemob.com/reverb, that's tonemob.com/reverb, it will take you via a special link right to Reverb, where you can do your normal purchasing and just transact exactly the way you normally would. And what that does is every transaction that you process through that link will actually put a small percentage of that sale back into the show. So it doesn't cost you anything extra. It's not going to make the process any more difficult. You just go to tonemob.com/reverb, and that will take you right where you need to go. And every purchase you make through that link helps keep the show going by doing something you're probably almost definitely doing already, which is buying gear through reverb.com. And if you're not yet, now is a great time to check it out. It's like the new and improved eBay for musicians, and it's very specifically geared to music gear, and that's what they care about, that's what they do. So if this is the first time you're hearing about it, I'm kind of surprised, but if not, go ahead, tonemob.com/reverb, put some wind in the sails over here, and get yourself some sweet stuff. All right, enough of that, on with the show. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the ToneMob.com podcast, the show about guitar tone and people behind it. With me today, I have Brian Spragg from Bookworm Effects. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Well, now that we finally sorted through all these technical gremlins, I'm doing pretty good. But I was getting pretty irritated there for a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, the wonders of the internet.
Yeah.
So how's things going over there? What's the weather like? Everything splendid?
It's okay. It's sunny, but it's pretty cold. It was weird. Last week it was like 80, or maybe even it got up to like 90. It just dropped all of a sudden, so everyone's already wearing scarves and all that stuff. So
You're in West Virginia, right?
yep.
Nice. I've never been over there. I've always thought I'd like to visit that neck
It's
of the world.
yeah, it's cool. There's some good things about it. There's bad things about it. I mean, you can say that about anything, but West Virginia itself is beautiful, mountains and hills and what have you. All the nature is good.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Well, I guess we can get right into the meat and potatoes of it, and that'll answer some of the questions that I was gonna just ask in casual conversation. But what's your musical backstory? How did you get into making guitar pedals, and did you play in bands growing up, or like what's the story there?
Yeah. Well, I guess first thing as far as like just playing music, I've been playing music since I've been like I learned guitar. I started learning at 13. I started my first bad kind of hardcore band when I was 17, I think. I guess I was 17. Played that for a couple years. Moved to Morgantown and started a math rock band. I've been just playing ever since, like tons of little side bands, and right now I play. It's kind of weird. I play drums in a band, but sometimes that band will play as like another formation where I'm playing guitar, which is fun because I get to use my pedals, and the guitar player in our band uses my pedals, so it's fun to do that.
Nice.
But yeah, I been playing music. Oh God, it's kind of gross to think about. It's like 21 years. Whoa, that's way too long. I should be better. But
I know that feeling.
Yeah. And then as far as starting to do pedals, I just had a Holy Grail reverb like stop working on me. I knew it was likely the switch, but I wasn't sure how to fix it. And the person that would normally fix it said, "Hey, I'm sorry, I have kind of a wait, so I can't get to it immediately." And I was like, "That's okay." I decided to look up some stuff online, ordered a foot switch, got it, and fixed it. And then I felt like invincible. So I was like, "Oh, I can do anything." But I mean, truth was, I definitely couldn't. But that was a good starting point, just to know, like, oh yeah, these wires, the switch is just doing all this routing, and like it kind of makes sense once you understand how one of these foot switches work. But it snowballed from there. Eventually, like I was selling on Reverb to some of my used stuff, and I would see like handmade stuff on there constantly. And I was just thinking, like, could I try that? I should maybe like just see. And so I got a few kits, built them, and that's kind of it. It just all snowballed. At that time, I was also working like a pretty. I was working in a bookstore. And it was super part time, so I just had so much extra available time that when I wasn't working, I was like reading about circuit design or just everything about every single component in pedals. And so I was doing all this homework and research, and yeah, it's kind of crazy how I'm not going to say I'm not a pedal expert. I'm always learning, but it's cool to like have taught myself most of what I know, which is cool. And there's just so many supportive people in the pedal building community that obviously help too, and forums and all that stuff. So you can ask questions without, I don't know, people ripping you apart. So, yeah, I guess I kind of just went from there.
Yeah. So I think even I don't know, the guys you would think know everything about pedals and circuits. I talked to a lot of those guys too, and I think they're still learning stuff. So I don't think you ever get done learning about these things. There's always there's so much that goes into it, there's always something new to be gleaned, I feel like.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
So you'd mentioned you were working in a bookstore, and your pedals are called Bookworm Effects. I'm assuming this is not just a branding exercise, that you yourself are a legit bookworm. I'm guessing.
I'm a pretty big bookworm. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and working at the bookstore was fun just because I got an awesome discount, got tons of books, and I remember when I started making pedals, I just called them kind of whatever, and then I think it's always kind of fun to have a theme, even though it can be kind of cheesy, but to have like every pedal named after a book character or a place in a book or just even an author, like I don't know. I just thought that was kind of like a fun thing to do. And there are various other pedal builders who do similar things, but yeah, I don't know. I just sort of like wanted to try it. So
I think it's a good idea. It's like made me look up things, because I used to read a lot more, but I don't read nearly as much as I used to, and it's certainly not like what people wouldn't necessarily consider quote unquote literature. When I do, it's usually a
right.
horror comics or something.
Nice.
Which have their own merit, I suppose, but
Yeah.
that's what my actual physical book reading goes to most of the time. But do you come up with the pedal and then the name, or do you sometimes get inspired by the whatever literary reference you're using to make a certain pedal?
For the most part, it's always worked that I make the effect and then decide on a name. Like I have a whole list of names and things that like I want to call pedals. Like there's probably a list of 20 different things in there, and I just don't have enough pedals to name them yet. That's typically it. There's a couple like ideas I have as far as like weird, crazy. I'm trying to think of a good example right now. I guess. Oh, okay. I don't want to spoil anything because it could uh, uh, kind of spoil it for a future pedal of mine. But anyway, I was reading something in a book that was kind
Oh,
of
I
like
see.
it was kind of crazy, and so I want to make uh, this strange effect. It's still in the like breadboarding, and I'm not totally sure I'm going to do it yet, but it's totally like messed up sounding, and it'd be really fun, named after this weird thing that happened in a book. But I know that sounds so vague, and it's not. It's anticlimactic as hell because I'm sorry, yeah.
I
But
was on the edge of my seat there.
yeah, I know,
Oh
and I'm
man.
sorry I can't tell you. Just because I want it to. I think it'll be like fun to announce it in the future. Um, I don't know how soon. It might not even happen at all, but I hope so.
And maybe I got a little bit twisted there, but are you saying that this particular one that you're working on now was more inspired by the book, or you just
Yeah.
thought that it's such a crazy idea that it'll work well with the name?
It's the former what you said there. It's like I read the book and was like, wow, that's kind of messed up. How can I create an effect that like sort of I don't know how to explain it. Sort of like makes you think of this thing, and
Okay.
it's so vague, and I'm so sorry I can't be like more specific. But
You don't have to tell us the name of the pedal, but can you tell us the name of the book?
yeah, it's House of Leaves,
Oh! I know of
which
this
is
book.
which is a good spooky book, perfect in time for Halloween. So
Exactly. Now I'm
yeah,
curious. I
yeah,
know. Wow, that could get really messed up.
yeah. So who knows at this point? There's a lot of like I don't know if this thing will come into like a physical box eventually, but like I mean, I hope it does. I just like have so much stuff I still want to do with it. So
Yeah, it's super early. I
yeah.
understand that.
Hmm.
Good times. So you were saying you were playing in hardcore bands and math rock bands and things like that. the pedals you make, are they more, how would I say it? Are they to fit a need that you have, or are they more experimental and just kind of their own, live on their own outside of the music you actually play?
Well, yeah, some of them I did sort of make out of need or kind of disappointment in like other effects that I'd had. Like I don't have anything against Tube Screamer. I actually kind of like it, or I started hating it for a while. I think I just used it so much. But I wanted to make another overdrive that wasn't so, I don't like, there's that term transparent overdrive, but I wanted it like something a little more dynamic, maybe not as like shrill sounding sometimes. And just like I bought a few pedals. It turned out they're just like Tube Screamer clones. And I was just like, I don't really like this sound that much anymore. So it's kind of why I did the Atticus Finch. Then I don't know. There's other things like the Multicano. I like the idea of like having a clean reverb sound, but then like destroying that reverb sound. I don't know. It's just about like I kind of wrote a song that it would like sound good with, so that's kind of why I made that pedal. It's so weird to make a pedal for one song or something, but I mean now I use it all the time, or a lot anyway.
That's kind of rad, actually. That's not weird. I like that.
Like you can, if you ever are you an audio engineer by chance?
Me, no.
Okay, I was just curious if you like ever record or work through like, there's like fake amp and fake pedals within programs like Apple Logic and stuff. And
yeah, I know about all that stuff, but I'm far from a audio engineer though.
So it's fun to like make the fake pedal board in the program and do all this crazy stuff, and then go, well, like, what if I can recreate that somehow in an actual box, just because this thing doesn't exist. And so that was kind of the idea with the Multicano. It's like I'd set up a reverb and then a fuzz, and you could blend it with the clean signal in the program. So I just thought that would be really fun to combine that or put it in an actual pedal. That's kind of the idea. Just like these weird things that can happen, and then recreate them so other people can use them too.
I'm here to say that pedal is legit awesome.
Thank you so much.
That thing. It's so much fun.
Thanks.
It's right up my alley. Cool. I really, really like it. So, big shout out to Emily for hooking me up with that.
Yeah.
Emily gave that to me, and I don't know how much you know about like, our weird guitar podcast community that we have. But there's another guitar podcast called 60 Cycle Hum, and they sometimes organize like for their kind of inner circle people, the certain members will organize like a Secret Santa during Christmas time, and then somebody decided to do a Christmas in July one.
Oh, okay.
And so she got my name and had to find, and everyone that gets my name is like, oh great, because now they have to try to find something that I don't have.
Yeah.
Which there's so many pedals that's not as hard as it might sound like, but I'm a bit of an addict, so they're generally contacting my buddy Leon over at Pelican Noiseworks. I'm like, what doesn't Blake have?
Nice, yeah, that's good.
So I imagine that was one of those scenarios, but she hooked me up with that, and I'd known of Bookworm. I'd seen your pedals and played your bass drive before, but
cool.
I didn't know you made something crazy like that, and it's so much fun.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. Like, yeah, that pedal is one of my favorites to make, and I'll hopefully get getting some more parts in to make like a whole new run of them, because I only have one left or actually it's not technically in the shop yet because I have to get a few things to build it, but I'm gonna have like one left, and then I have to just order some more enclosures. So
I see. So you said that you're primarily a drummer now, but when you do play, are you guys playing out? Are you primarily recording, or what are you guys doing right now?
We are playing live in Morgantown a lot. I think we have a couple out of town shows planned in November. But most of the time we just play in Morgantown. And we are in the process of recording also. Everyone's schedules are so crazy. So hopefully we'll get some recordings up in the next, let's see, this is the middle. It's the middle of October. I'm hoping by the middle of November we can release something. Everything kind of takes some time, and everyone's busy. So that's the main thing. Like all three of us that are in this band is called Beast Friend. So I play drums. My friend Mason plays bass, and Roseanne plays guitar and sings. We actually all sing, but we all also teach music at this nonprofit music school called Pop Shop, and that takes up a lot of our time. And then we all have these like other things we do. So like me, pedal building, and Roseanne is into ceramics and like pottery, and then Mason is he's doing some new jobs, like extra second job stuff. So he's super busy. Hopefully,
Gotcha.
Something soon. Hopefully.
Sounds like there, at least in your circle, it sounds like there's a lot of art type community things going on over there. Is that accurate for your city, or is that just your circle of friends?
Oh, well, definitely. West Virginia itself has a gigantic arts community. That's one of the main things like I wanted to kind of help showcase with Bookworm Effects. I am not so much a like a visual artist. I can't really. I drew stuff in like high school, but it was never like a good artist. When I started making these pedals, I was using like really bad stock images from, or like, what is it, public domain images to put on pedals so I wouldn't get in trouble. And then I was kind of just thinking like, well, I have so many friends who are artists, and like I can reach out to them. They can make a pedal look really nice, and then I can make it sound the way it does and go from there. And so like almost every pedal is named after, is designed visually by different artists. And the idea is that they span all around West Virginia. There's one that is not from West Virginia, just because he's a tattooer from Barcelona, but he works in Canonsburg, and he's just a friend. So I was able to like ask him for a design. So I guess I should say like regional, not just like West Virginia, but mostly West Virginia.
Gotcha. That's really cool. I didn't actually know that about West Virginia. I would have, everyone kind of has the images of their different states in their brain. That seems like, when those kind of things, like a strong arts community is brought up, people think about like Brooklyn, or or here in Portland or somewhere like that. And not so much some of the more southern or rural states.
Definitely.
So that's really interesting.
Yeah, it's all over our state, which is cool. Like Morgantown has a huge, like, there's so many different artist collectives here, and the Eastern Panhandle, like the eastern side of the state, has a bunch of stuff in the Shepherdstown, Martinsburg area. And every small place has something. It's all over. I mean, I guess you can really say that about any state or any place, but West Virginia is mostly the ones I know. So I guess that's kind of the, that's all I got.
Are you born and raised there, or how did you end up in West Virginia?
I'm actually from Martins Ferry, Ohio, which is about an hour and a half from here. I was born there, raised there, and I just moved to Morgantown 12 years ago, maybe a little more than that now. But basically, I was just moving here to work and record bands. That's kind of all I wanted to do. And so at that time, I was like working just like some bad part-time job or full-time job, recording on weekends, playing music on weekends. that's kind of it. And then it just, it gets bigger from there. So eventually start doing things like, I've only been teaching music at that program for past 5 years, and I've only been building pedals for the past, I think 4 years, which is crazy, just like how much changes in a small amount of time. But then I'm still,
true.
yeah, and then I'm still playing music a lot. Yeah, I don't know. Everything's, for me, it's all around music, and yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm rambling. So.
Oh, no, not at all.
Okay.
No, no. I mean, I'm asking rather open-ended questions with the hope that you will take them on a journey of self-discovery or something. I don't know. No, but that's interesting. That was gonna be my question, is like what drew you there, but it sounded like it was just sort of the opportunity to play music. And it all seems to stem back to that for you.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you have any big speaking of music stuff, what is some of your big inspirations musically? We obviously have literary inspiration, but who do you listen to, or who has inspired you to, kind of live this life?
Yeah. Well, there's so much, it's constantly changing, but I still have like the bands that got me really into music, or got me like delving deep into, and I would say first off is Radiohead. Like when I first got OK Computer, it kind of like blew my mind. At that time I was also listening to and like playing pop punk and stuff, but I sort of like grew out of that pretty quick and didn't really like pop punk that much anymore. But I mean, I could still listen to it, but like Radiohead was like such a weird, big, mature sound that I've never heard before, and all these different things. But Radiohead sort of began everything. But I'd say in the past, like, in the past 12 years of being in Morgantown, I listened to a bunch of like 70s prog rock, like King Crimson, Yes, Gentle Giant, what's the one? Captain Beyond. But then there's tons of, it's all over the place. I also really liked Sigur Rós for a really long time. And I still kind of do. I guess I haven't kept up with them since their like TAC album or something. But I don't know. Lately, I've been listening to a ton of like St. Vincent, Snail Mail. There's, oh my gosh, I don't even know where to. Oh, I went back to start listening to some like Mazzy Star from the 90s. Tons of stuff. Jeff Buckley. Oh, I could go on forever. It's
wide range.
Yeah, musical range is pretty crazy. Like everything from kind of nice, quiet, light piano kind of stuff to like some heavy stuff like Converge or Meshuggah or something. So it's all over the place. I just recently have a huge appreciation for ABBA.
Oh no!
Yeah, at least I should say that I've only been listening to Dancing Queen. I had to teach it in one of my classes, and like sat down to analyze the song. And by the end of it, I was playing bass for it just because it was kind of a tricky bass part that we couldn't really get a student to learn in a small enough amount of time. But the whole time I was kind of like, this song is really good. Like lyrically, it's definitely weird. There's something in the lyrics that I always laugh at. It's at the end of each chorus, like the pre-chorus is basically one line, and it says, "And when you get the chance, you will be the dancing queen." Like that, for some reason, that doesn't really make sense to me. But and when you get the chance, you will be the dancing queen. Like
when you get the chance, you will.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it makes sense, but I always laugh when I hear that because I think I just think it sounds weird or something. I guess you can be the dancing queen if you have the chance. I have no idea.
Well, when the chance arises, you're gonna be the dancing queen.
Yeah, it was so weird.
That's what it means.
Yeah,
no,
pretty much.
It's really funny that you brought that up, and you brought that song up in particular, because my wife is a huge ABBA fan, and I'm super not. I'm just like, and part of it, dude, it's like it's good pop. Like, don't get me wrong, but like something of it too is like every time I come in the house, I'm hearing ABBA for like the last 3 weeks, and I'm like, I'm done with ABBA, and then because she loves me, she decided to teach our 3-year-old dancing queen. So now he'll come in and be like, "Dad," like, "What?" And he'd be like, "You are the dancing queen," and start singing. I'm like, no, stop it. It's actually hilarious. It's hysterical when he does that, actually. I don't want him to stop.
That's great. Yeah.
He has a good range too. He's got he'll sing that, and he'll sing Blackbird, and then also his mom taught him Achy Breaky Heart to really get grind my gears. So
yeah, that sounds great.
It's pretty great. It's kind of hysterical.
The trifecta.
We actually we went to Nashville we've taken him there twice, but we went to Third Man, and they got that like recording booth there. We had him sing Blackbird into that, and it's like my favorite thing ever.
That's cool.
We got a little vinyl record of this 3-year-old singing Blackbird. It's awesome.
That is so cool.
The ladies there, I think they wanted to steal him. It was like they were loving it. It was great.
It was great.
Good times. Do you have any kids?
No kids.
Okay. Well, they're crazy. That's all I can say about it.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
So where do you see Bookworm going in the future? Are you going to try to kind of keep it where it is? Do you want to grow it and have it be a bigger thing? I mean, seems like you can, in this industry, it's kind of funny. You can almost seemingly, as long as you're making cool stuff and unique stuff, you can kind of control your destiny a little bit. Some guys, keep it small and keep it, like one example I point out is Analog Man. Like, not that he's small, but like he's clearly as big as he wants to be, because he's got a 2-year waiting list for the, King of Tone and things like that.
Yeah.
If he wanted to, he could expand and grow and whatever, but he clearly doesn't want to. Is it something you'd rather keep on kind of the level it is and just build in batches and go, or would you like it to be a more kind of a larger operation?
I think eventually, definitely want it to get a little larger. I could, I kind of like make my own hours teaching, so it's like, it's not an issue of time. It's more about like, I do sell a lot of pedals, but if I had like, I don't know, like just a bigger demand, and I could turn it into a larger thing, hire people to work and build with me. I would love that. I don't know how likely it is with the whole like, building pedals is a pretty like tough thing. There's so many builders out there, and luckily everyone is super nice. No one's necessarily like seeing it as a competition with each other. Everyone's super friendly, and I love doing trades with people, and that kind of stuff is real cool. But the way to stay on top is just always have like some kind of new thing or a weird thing that maybe no one else has done or not explored that much yet. So that's kind of the only tricky thing. Like, I mean, I was super surprised that people liked the Multicano distorted reverb. I sort of thought no one in their right minds would like it, But it's definitely the most popular pedal. Yeah, it's kind of just weird to think about that stuff. I sort of just took a risk, and it seemed to work, and that's that.
I think it's kind of like what you said. It's trying to figure out something weird that hasn't been done before. There's lo-fi verbs and some that have some overdrive characteristics and stuff, but I can't think of too many off the top of my head that have distortion and are that gnarly.
Yeah, I can't. I don't remember seeing anything immediately that was just like a distorted reverb. But I think I remember like Keeley had a pedal that had some sort of distorted reverb setting on it, and it was like some limited edition thing. It was the I can't remember the name of it right now, but it was like based on Phil Spector's like wall of sound sort of stuff that he would get.
Right.
Can't remember the name of the pedal, but that was like, I remember seeing that right around the time I was like first breadboarding and stuff, and I was kind of like, oh, someone's releasing a distorted reverb, but it wasn't really marketed as that, and it was I don't know, there wasn't, I can't remember all the the features on it or anything, but I don't think it was like too similar to mine. I hope not. Anyway, I guess I haven't kept track of it, but
I don't even remember that pedal, so I guess it's not that big of a deal.
It was super limited. I think I don't know how many they made, but I didn't really see it out for long. So
Gotcha. So what do you see? Like, yeah, the pedal market is a difficult one to get into. What do you see? Like, if you were to talk to somebody that wanted to get started in the business, what would you tell them?
I guess it's cool to start with some simple stuff, but to try to expand into the kind of weirder territory and like more, I guess you could say like acquired taste kind of stuff, where it may not really sound like a totally usable thing at first, but there's going to be practical uses for some of these things if you just like give it a chance. I like when people, I don't know, I saw something recently that was crazy. Totally forgetting the name of it, unfortunately, but it was a big delay pedal. I think it was made in Europe. I saw like Data Choir Sounds playing with it, and it did a bunch of cool, like kind of glitchy, weird stuff. Like any of those, like any new glitchy pedals, I think are really cool, just because the future kind of is more people are getting into digital programming. I really want to get into that, like DSP stuff, but I just have to upgrade so much stuff, like a brand new computer, development boards. I don't know. There's a whole lot to it, and I don't know. Oh, like all the Dr. Scientist stuff is really awesome.
Oh yeah,
I'm really excited for the Atmosphere.
I am so excited for the Atmosphere.
Yeah,
I've been trying to get Ryan on the show for like a year.
Oh yeah.
He's like, I don't know. Sounds like that would be stressful. I'm like, dude, it's just me, man. Like,
yeah,
it's just me. I'm not stressed. Nothing to stress about.
Maybe I'll try to talk to him. I mean, I don't get to talk to him that much, but I can maybe just say like, hey, it's not bad. So
yeah, it's not that bad. He only verbally abused me a little bit.
Yeah,
I could handle it.
Yeah.
No, he's like trying to psych. It's kind of funny. Like I'm DMing him on Instagram, and he's like, I'm trying to psych myself up to do it. And like,
that's so good.
I'm like, it'll be fine. Don't worry about it. But no, he's a great guy, and I have a couple of his pedals. I got a Reverberator and a BitQuest, and I love them both. And I'm so jazzed about the Atmosphere. I'm so excited about it.
It's gonna be so cool.
I don't know how people's brains can work to create things like that, honestly. That kind of blows me away.
Definitely one of those things that like is kind of overwhelming and intimidating to see, like the amount of work they put into it, to just all the development of that and every single little feature planned out and stuff like that. I think I do interesting enough stuff, but gosh, I wish I had their knowledge or their I don't know how to explain it. It's just really crazy.
they've been doing it a long time. You know, it's that's part of the deal. Is you learn, and like we were talking about with like even the guys that you think have it all figured out are still learning new things. There's always something to this stuff.
Definitely.
One of the crazier pedals I played recently. I had to send it back to him, but it was because it was a prototype. But the Cooper Effects Moment Machine.
Oh yeah, I've heard of those.
Have you seen that?
Yeah.
I was really intimidated by it at first. I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to understand this thing. But like the way he made the menus scroll through and everything, it was like, oh, it made a lot of sense. Like it was way easier to use than some of the other like super complicated pedals that I have.
Yeah.
Because I just seen a screen and I was like, oh boy, we got sub menus and things. I'm not gonna.
Yeah. But
it's really easy, and it sounds. You can make completely unusable sounds or really pretty things. It's just cool. Is all how you play it. Yeah, it's a fun one.
So amazing. I love that.
Do you have, well, we talked about Dr. Scientist, but do you have other builders that you really admire or appreciate their products or who have been particularly helpful to you?
Yeah. I think like when I was first getting into it, I was talking to Tom from Tomcat a lot. I think he's really cool and can't wait for his new thing is going to be really awesome, which I think he's releasing sometime soon. Or Leon from Pelican, we did a trade a little more than a year ago, and I have a half horse, and I use that so much. I almost always, when I'm teaching, if we have a band that needs like a really fuzzy sound, I take in the half horse just because it's so much fun to like first to show kids the funny artwork on it, but then to get like a crazy fuzz sound. So, let me think. Southampton pedals. We did a swap. I guess it was earlier this year. And man, those are really cool. What did I get? The boosted fuzz, and I think it was called the fifth gear. Just like a nice overdrive. Tons of cool stuff. I feel bad. I'll probably forget someone, and then I'll feel bad. I don't know the Earthquaker people like super well. It's kind of funny that Jamie from Earthquaker was in what was that band? Party of Helicopters, which was a band that I never got to play with or see live, but all of my good friends and that were a little older than me played in bands with them. So it was kind of fun to like, they played all these shows and all these people in like the Wheeling area know them. Know Jamie and Earthquaker and stuff. The Old Blood Noise is always doing cool things. Every time I see something they put out, I'm just sort of completely blown away by. Yeah, I don't know. There's a ton, and there's some stuff I'll like. I don't own a Count to 5, but I really like Montreal Assembly.
Those things are nuts.
Yeah, like there's so much. I want to, obviously meet and talk to way more people. Oh, Grant, Big Ear. I should he's super helpful, and he organizes the boutique pedal showcase at NAMM. So
yes.
So he was able to like have my pedals on there I think 3 times. Or wait, I can't remember. I think it was just 2 times. But I mean that's so much fun. Like I was actually able to go to NAMM this year, but not like to showcase. So I was able to like send him 2 pedals and got a bunch of good feedback on it. People like emailed me later to say like I tried out your delay pedal and it's insane, that kind of stuff. So it was fun like meeting some of those people that I've only been able to talk to online. Who else? Christian from Adventure Audio. He was really nice. He was there at NAMM.
Just listing off some of my favorite people.
That's what
you're doing right
now. Luckily, they're all in like the same group, so everyone kind of knows each other, which is cool.
Yeah. There's kind of like everyone's pretty cool with each other, like we've talked about multiple times, but like there are sort of I'm not sure there's like certain like sort of circles that get formed, if that makes any sense, and that are just kind of talk to each other all on a regular basis. And I'm in this weird place where I'm like sort of part of all of those little circles, well, not all of them, but a lot of them. It's like I know a bunch of the West Coast guys, obviously being over here, and I talk to them on a regular basis. And then, but I'm also, tight with a bunch of the East Coast guys and all the guys you just mentioned, and Tom and Grant and Ryan from Fuzzrocious, and so I'm like talking to those guys, and I feel like I'm in this weird kind of floating between different cool kid cliques.
Yeah, I can see that. Totally cool.
But it's awesome because I like all those people. So
yeah, that rules.
Christian and I actually got something coming next week.
Oh, really? Like something you guys worked on together?
Yeah, it's a lot of people kind of know what it is already, but I can't give it away. So
it's okay. Yeah, I can't wait to.
Actually, no. This episode will it'll already come out by the time this episode comes out. So that'll be okay. We can talk about it.
Awesome.
The Demogorgon. We are coming back out with that again for kind of we'll see what happens, but right now it's planned to be the last hurrah, because we did one 2 years ago, which was just a fuzz, and then last year he had the idea to like try to make actual monster sounds.
Whoa! Oh my god!
And so we did the Demogorgon V2, which really was only a V2 in name only, because it was a fuzz, tremolo reverb thing.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous, and that's you could awesome. Like make monster sounds with it.
That's exciting.
And so now and once we did that, we had a batch of, I don't remember, 50 or I actually don't even remember how many we did. I can't remember at all. But we did the first batch, and they all sold out really fast. And him and I have been getting emails probably at least once a week since it sold out that, oh, we need another one. So we're bringing that back out with a little bit of tweaks to it to make it a little more user friendly.
Cool.
And I'm really excited about it. And I'll be getting one here to do some demo stuff with, hopefully pretty soon. So
that is awesome.
There you go, everybody.
I'm super excited.
Yeah, I'll try to show you some stuff after this, but because now we're talking about me. We're talking about you.
Right.
So, yeah, we've talked about a lot of things here. So when you do get to play guitar, what does your rig usually look like? What are you playing?
Ooh. I have, as far as guitars go, I kind of just go back and forth between mainly just two guitars, but I have like a third one just kind of for fun. My first one is technically a Fender American Standard, but I didn't know that until really recently. When I went to recording school in Ohio, I lived in a house with a few other people, and one of the kids there, he had this Telecaster, and it was really nice, but he just kind of complained about it all the time. One night, he broke off the headstock and threw it in the garbage. Yeah, okay. And I snuck out and took it out of the garbage and brought it back into the apartment and hid it in the under my bed. It was so stupid, like why he did that. Because the next day, I guess his dad bought him a brand new one. I was kind of annoyed by that. But he's
one of those kids.
Yeah, exactly. Like he showed me the guitar earlier. I was just like, "Gosh, that Tele is so nice." And he's like, "I kind of hate it." He's just like kind of a spoiled brat kind of guy, and just hated that kind of stuff. Anyway, so I had this basically headless guitar for a long time. I just took the neck off and I had the body for a while. When I moved to Morgantown, I eventually bought a neck through Warmouth, and that's been like my main guitar. So I didn't realize until I checked the serial number later that it was made in USA, like American Standard, basically from early 90s, one of those ones. I think it was called something different, not American Standard, but I just can't remember off the top of my head. That's
American traditional or something
I
like that.
think that's it. Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
American Traditional. That sounds right. But anyway, that's my main guitar. I have a Fender Strat. I think it's really just like a standard Strat. Again, I haven't checked the serial number. That's a good idea. I should probably find out. But it's just I put 3 of those Seymour Duncan lipstick pickups that you see in like Dan Electros.
Yeah.
So it's got a ton of cool, versatile sounds. Like can kind of sound like a Rickenbacker, can sound like a Dan Electro, and like still get the like a Strat sound. But it's a super versatile guitar. I like that one a lot. And then one I just got within the past year, which is really fun because I have not paid a lot of money for this at all because you'll find out why. Do you know those like beginner guitars that are like Maestro by Gibson? You ever seen those?
Mm-hmm.
They sell them in
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
Sears and stuff. They're not like legitimate guitars really, but the music program I teach at, we did a big gear sale last year, and one of the other teachers was going and collecting donations. They were about to leave this one place, and a guy ran out with the body of this guitar. Just didn't have a bridge or anything or strings, and just like, "Hey, I got one more if you want it." And then my friend, who was the teacher, Walt, he was like, "Yeah, let me take a look." He was like in the middle of talking about it, and the guy just like throws it in the car without him like saying, oh, is that okay? Do you want this or whatever? He just like tossed it in. And he's like, okay,
Here you go.
Yeah, I guess we have it now. So he brought it to the music school, and I saw it in our room like as unfinished guitars for like $5 or $10, and he was just like, no, just take it because no one's really gonna get this guitar and fix it up. So I did, and it's like a Les Paul Jr. looking guitar, but it's a pink burst, which is very weird.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And when I got home, when I fixed it up, I put like 2 gigantic knobs on it, just for volume and tone. And the pickup is stock. Like, I'm sure it's not a great pickup, but it sounds fine. Like, I have this guitar set up and tuned almost always in like a drop C or a C standard just for fun. It's a fine guitar. Like I didn't need to get anything super special, and it's fine just to kind of mess around with it. It stays in tune perfectly fine, and if I put a ton of pedals on it, it sounds fun. So
nice.
Yeah, so those are like
fun.
those are my 3 guitars like right now. I have another old like Squier Strat that was like one of my first guitars, but there's a lot of work I want to do on it because it's super boring right now. I did put 1 new pickup in it, and it sounds really nice, but like I hate the neck on it. I just need like, I don't know. I want to turn it into a baritone. So
yeah,
that'd be really fun. But I don't know when I'll have like time or money to do that. So.
what about
but yeah,
the rest of the rig?
Oh, of course, yeah. Gosh, I'm only talking about guitars.
What is this, a guitar podcast?
Yeah, I'm sorry. For pedals and stuff, I'll use usually. I try to keep a pretty simple setup, but if I want to, I'll add more depending on songs and whatnot. But I'll almost always have a drive, which will be one of my overdrives, or I've gone back to liking the Tube Screamer, so I'll put the Tube Screamer on sometimes. I usually have like one of each: a drive, a fuzz, usually chorus or tremolo. So like the tremolo I make, or I really like that Walrus Audio Julia. Such a good, like, I've never really been a huge chorus fan, but I love vibrato, and that's kind of the main reason I got it. But I'll use a chorus sound every once in a while. Then I'll usually have delay and reverb. So like my delay or my reverb. Extra effects I'll throw in here and there. The Earthquaker Spatial Delivery. I really love the sample and hold setting. It's so ridiculous and crazy sounding. their Afterneath is a really fun, like, spacey pedal that I use that a lot.
I love the Afterneath.
Yeah,
So good.
There's nothing really like it. I was even listening to some recording from the 90s that this is way before that pedal existed, but the band got, it sounds like the Afterneath, but it was definitely way before the Afterneath was out. So like they must have done something in the studio to get a similar sound, like multiple delay pedals or something. It sounds awesome, but let me see. I'll throw in let me see what else I mean, I have way too many pedals in here. I should
There's no such thing.
It's true.
No such thing.
Of course, the BitQuest, just because there's so many different, like, I like the pitch shifter on that, the kind of random delay sounds in it. Yeah, I don't know. The Old Blood Black Fountain, I'll throw that in sometimes. Like, I don't know. I have a lot of pedals, and when I play live and stuff, I just try to keep it pretty simple to like what I need. I never have like every pedal on my board at all times. Although that'd be really fun.
Yeah, I'm starting to slack. I need to if I don't do it before the year's over, I'll have failed. I haven't had a actual pedal board set up in years at this point. Like, I don't like, even when my band was practicing on the regular, I would like show up with a box of pedals and like be like, well, here,
take the time to unbox.
It was just like it's like such a disaster. And it's because like I can't pick, like I can't choose. Like every night I come out and I jam a little bit before bedtime, and it's always like running through a different combination of pedals. And so for me to like sit down and have an actual board that's a grab and go, it's like, man, that would be so weird to me. But then it's like part of it's that, and then part of it is like, oh, I need to like, if I'm gonna do this, I need to do these effects justice and actually have a nice setup and all that stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because you have a lot, you could also do, say, like multiple small boards kind of thing. Well, actually, I always think that's there is a caveat. I did have a super mini board set up for a little while. Like, all small pedals or things that did multiple things. I think I ended up with like 7 or 8 pedals on it still, by being very creative. That's great.
And using the sinusoid slivers. This episode brought to you by Sinusoid.
Nice.
It really is. So I guess they got 2 plugs this time. But yeah, not to like completely derail it, but yeah, I need to do that. That was my new Gears resolution this year, was like, I'm gonna have a pedal board, and I still haven't done it yet. I laid one out a week ago. I was like, this will do it, and then I slowly was like, nah, I need to redo this and that, and then
I know that feeling. I mean, it's tough. Like, I very rarely have like my board ready to go. Like, I have to do the same thing, just like take a few with me, but I'll if I know I'm playing guitar more often, then I'll have it like set up and good to go. But this was kind of rare, so.
Right. Well, we're getting close to the end here, and we have to ask the most important question. I'm hoping you're sitting down, because this one's a little bit heavy for most people.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's a big deal. Brian, what is your favorite kind of pizza?
Oh, geez. That is not what I was expecting, but
told you, it's heavy. It's heavy stuff.
It's pretty heavy, yeah. Okay. People are gonna not like this. I'm vegan, so vegan pizzas are. I mean, I think they're good, but other people hate them. But I think one of the best like vegan pizzas I've ever had was I don't know how big of a chain this place is, but it's called Z Pizza. I don't know. I doubt they have that in Oregon. Have you ever heard of it?
I've never heard of it before.
Okay. Well, definitely in Ohio and like West Virginia and Pennsylvania. But they just make like a vegan pizza with a bunch of like veggie sausage, veggie cheese, a bunch of other fruits, not fruits, but vegetables. It's amazing, but I mean, I'm a vegan, so I don't think my opinion is anyway. But
You don't think your opinion is valid? You are a human.
Well, I hope, I mean, there will be people who, have, who will try out that stuff, but like, they might just hear vegan pizza and think it's immediately disgusting, and maybe I'm biased because that's all I can eat, but I don't know.
So my grandpa, who's definitely not a vegan, was telling me about the Impossible Burger and how he was like, I want to try that. So he tried it at a local brewery. Have you heard of the Impossible Burger?
Yes, I love it.
Yeah, he said it was legit. I'm like, well, if you say it's legit, it must be legit. And now I kind of want to try one.
That's great. Did you say it was your grandpa?
Yeah, it was my grandpa. Yeah, he was like,
that's amazing.
He was just like, I was like, what made you try that? He was like, I don't know. Just thought it might be kind of fun.
Yeah, well, that's great. That kind of adventurous attitude is good to like try new things. And Impossible Burger is awesome. Like there's a couple restaurants in town that have them. So if I get any kind of veggie burger, it's just going to be that because it's, I'm not going to say it tastes like a burger because I honestly don't remember what actual burgers taste like. What I know is I like it. It's kind of all that matters. So
well, at the end of the day, that's true. That is all that matters. What's in that thing? I've seen it and it looks like meat, but I don't understand how that works.
I cannot remember all the details. There's some sort of like the reason it looks like it like can bleed is because it has like a little bit of beet juice or some kind of beet something in there. But it's still like a thick textural, because I don't think it's necessarily like tofu. It might be. Oh my gosh! I wish I knew all the details. Like when I first got it, the restaurant had this pamphlet on it, and they like would show you, and you could like read about it before you ate it. But I forgot everything that's in the pamphlet, so that's not helpful.
It didn't say anything about transistors in that pamphlet, therefore
I totally forgot it. Yeah, I only read it the once, so.
Well, yeah, we can't expect people to retain this kind of information on 2018. Yeah. We're being bombarded with too much. We got too much coming at us all the time. Nice. Well, Brian, thanks for doing this. It was a lot of fun talking to you. Do you this is your kind of chance to put up a billboard. Where can people find you, and where do you want them to go to check out more and all that jazz?
Yeah. Thanks. First, I just want to say thanks for having me. I have my website is just bookwormeffects.com. I have my Instagram, which is just at Bookworm Effects. There is a Facebook page, just Bookworm Effects. That's all the places I use the most, especially Instagram, and the website is good for any kind of new updates and stuff. But website has all the sound demos. Instagram, I post more just because I can do a quick video demo here and there. But yeah, check out my stuff if you get a chance.
Please do go check it out, guys. I think you'll like it. And again, that reverb is one of my favorite things right now. So you guys, you guys will like it. It's a lot of fun. All right. Well, thanks, Brian. I guess I'll go ahead and wrap this up. For Brian, this is Blake. And as always, folks, good luck and good tones. All right. There you go. There's another one in the can. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Make sure and go check out Brian's work. I really, really do like that reverb. It's a great, great pedal. It's really, really a lot of fun. Let's see. House cleaning. What else do we got? We got NAMM coming up. It's going to be here before we know it. So hopefully I will see some of you guys down there. I'm still trying to figure out the pizza situation. We wore out our welcome at the place last year. We had like 50 people show up. So hopefully we can do a similar pizza thing, but it will probably be on the NAMM property. I'm still trying to figure out exactly how that works. So I will keep you all posted on here and in the Facebook group and all the other social stuff. So just keep track of that there. If you haven't heard anything, shoot me an email to info@tonemob.com and we'll try to get you squared away. If you need more Tone Mobbage, there is always Patreon. You can go to patreon.com/tonemob and check out the different levels. At the $5 level is where you start getting extra episodes every week. They can be anything from extended guest interviews to Jess and I. Actually, this one we just posted today was probably the most on-topic guitar talk I've ever had on the internet. It was so we were really on it that day. We had a lot to talk about, so that was pretty fun. You can check that out. And again, I know Black Friday's coming up. There's going to be a lot of crazy deals going on and things to check out. So if you happen to be doing any shopping on Reverb, don't forget to use that tonemob.com/reverb link, and that will put a little bit of wind in the sails over here. It won't cost you anything extra, and you can just do all your shopping on Reverb like you normally do. So if you could save that link, that would be fantastic, because that really helps out, and it's a win-win for everybody. So, yeah, I think that's it. Until next week, have a good one, and let me know if you need anything, or if you need to get a hold of me. I'm around, info@tonemob.com, or get in touch with me on all of the social stuff. Later, folks. One last thing before we totally sign off here. I just want to remind you that if you do any shopping at Stringjoy, that's Stringjoy guitar strings made in Nashville, that will help me out as well. As I've said for years, I'm heavily involved in that company, and I really do think they're making the best products on the market. So if you would like to try custom strings, go to tonemob.com/stringjoy and check them out today. I seriously love what the team down there is doing. I help them out with all kinds of things, and by you supporting them, you are also supporting me as well. And hey, you need some strings, so why not get some custom strings just for your guitar and playing style? Again, the link for that is tonemob.com/stringjoy, and that will take you right to their website, and you can do all your shopping through there, and that will help everyone involved out. So thank you very much. Talk to you next time. We are brought to you by the wonderful folks at Gun Street Wiring Shop. Yes, Gun Street Wiring Shop. I've talked about them before. I used to say based out of Bend, Oregon, but guess what? Sean moved to my neck of the woods. Sean's in Portland. Sean is awesome and has helped me with a bunch of stuff lately. And if you have wiring needs for your guitar, he can help you too. If you want to get weird with it, he can get weird. If you just need to spruce things up a little bit, there's your guy. He takes all the guesswork out of doing your guitar wiring, and he makes it simple, and his customer service is top-notch, and I can't say enough good things about Gun Street as a company. I really respect Sean and what he's all about, and the product is top-notch. I've got 3 different guitars that now have Gun Street harnesses in them, and I could not be happier. So go to gunstreetwiringshop.com and check them out.